Elder John Nicholson was the first speaker. He alluded to his recent imprisonment for 5 months in the Utah Penitentiary, and described the general condition of the brethren confined there. They were filled with the spirit of peace, and reduced the precepts of the gospel to practice by being considerate toward each other and all their fellow prisoners. He showed at some length, by relating illustrative circumstances of the past and present, how the existing situation was largely a repetition of what had occurred in past ages. The position of the saints was clearly defined. The ground upon which they stood was not debatable. They must adhere to the principles of their faith and maintain human freedom. He spoke for some time upon the suffering which resulted from the present controversy, which was carried on by the aggressors with mercilessness bordering upon barbarity. The hardships it entailed upon many innocent people were far-reaching. That brought upon those thrown into conspicuous view, such as the brethren thrown into prison, constituted but a fragment of it. Many hearts were pained and torn beyond description, and he wondered sometimes how it was that men could be found who could deliberately legislate to produce such deplorable effects upon the innocent, and the administration of the laws thus made was no less vicious and hateful than the measures themselves. Notwithstanding the causes the saints had for complaint against those who perpetrated such cruelties upon them, they must not foster in their hearts a desire to inflict vengeance upon the perpetrators of the wrongs. They should follow Christ's teaching and example, and eliminate every sentiment of vindictiveness from their minds, for God had commanded his people to forgive all men. The speaker touched upon the heroism that had been thus far displayed by the women of the church. It was worthy of all commendation. He advised his hearers, when they found sisters who were suffering in comparative solitude, to pour into their minds the balms of sympathy and appreciation, as they should not be made to feel as if the cold shoulder of neglect had been turned toward them. The Almighty purposed, by the trials through which they should pass, to teach his people a lesson in reference to trusting in him that would never be effaced. They would yet be so encompassed about that there would be no natural visual appearance of a possible deliverance. Then would his salvation be exhibited in power. The impression that would then be made would last for all time, and would enable those who survived the ordeal to trust in the Lord forever.